What would 2024 look like according to NHL 17? That is right, we are back. I did this with NHL 19, and I mean, I had a lot of fun doing it. We obviously only simulated 6 seasons in that game from 2018 to 2024, but now back on NHL 17. A big jump from 16, in my opinion. Obviously not the greatest game, but still, it added more than 16 had. We are basically just going to be simulating up to current day, seeing who wins all the awards, see who does during the sim, see who goes on and wins the Stanley Cup every single season, and see what the year 2024 would look like if we simulated up to that date here in NHL 17. But first off, let's take a look at the NHL. Now, obviously, the league was in a very different place than it is today. I mean, the Anaheim Ducks have a guy like Ryan Kesler as their best player. Actually, he's not their best player. It would be Ryan Getzlaf. 91 overall. They still have the mom killer, Corey Perry. Ryan Kessler's there. Cam Fowler, who is still, I believe, still on the team. Oliver Ekman-Larsson was a 90 overall for the Arizona Coyotes. And I mean, the rest of their squad was not very good. Boston does have a 90. Bergeron. Chara's an 89. Marchand's only an 88, so he's not there, but they have a pretty good team. Also, David Backes on their squad. Buffalo will have a very young Jack Eichel, only 19 years of age. Medium franchise potential. I don't know if I would give him that, honestly. He's up now, what, to like a 91, 92 in NHL 24. Kyle Okposo still there. Ryan O'Reilly. Evander Kane is on the squad. For the Flames, Gio and Johnny Hockey are the best players, both at a 90 overall apiece. Carolina has Justin Folk as their best player. Also, Jordan Stahl still there. Jeff Skinner, who obviously went to Buffalo after that for a while and now is a member of the Edmonton Oilers. Noah Hanifin, they probably should not have let him go. Chicago still has a prime. Patrick Kane, Duncan Keith, and Jonathan Taves. I mean, a 94, 93, and 92. Also, Brent Seabrook is a 90. This is a very, very good squad. They also have Artemi Panarin, who's an 87 overall. They probably are going to dominate the early seasons. Colorado is not very good. Nathan McKinnon. Man, McKinnon's only an 87 overall. Also, what on earth is going on with that head skin and that beard, dude? You were just straight up looking like me at this point. Colorado also still has Jerome McGinley on their team. Columbus doesn't really have anybody. Dallas, Ben's a 94 and Sagan 92. That's crazy. Zetterberg's an 89. The Oilers have a young 19-year-old McDavid, only 92. I mean, he grew. He started out as an 88, I believe, in this game, and then grew to a 92 by the end of the season. Milan Lucic is an 88 and our second best player. Dear God, do I not miss those days. Draisaitl's only an 86. I mean, Adam Larson's on the squad. We still have Eberle. Jágr is on the Panthers. I don't believe he was a 93. I couldn't actually download rosters, so years ago I did mess with the overalls. I think Jaromir Jágr was definitely one of them. He's probably like an 85 in this game, but some reason he's going to be up to a 93. I'll go with it. Barkov's only an 88. LA has Doughty at a 94. Kopitar is there. Suter and Parise are still in the Minnesota Wild. Montreal has Shea Weber at a 94 overall, as well as their all-star goalie and Carey Price, who's a 95 at 29 years of age. Nashville's best player is PK Subban at a 91. They also have Yossi and Ryan Johansson. The Devils have Taylor Hall at a 90. Mike Camilleri is on the squad. Travis Zajac is an 85. The Islanders still have Johnny T, 93 overall, 26-year-old. He's a little bit older now in real life. Ryan McDonough, the former captain, I believe, of the New York Rangers. Mark Stahls, there's a Zibanejad, very young, 23 years old. Derek Stepan, Chris Kreider is only 25 at this time. Ottawa has a prime Erik Karlsson, medium franchise potential at a 95 overall. Bobby Ryan is still here. Derek Brassard, obviously LTIR Spleen Stone, 87 overall. Philly, they have Giroux, Voracek, and Simmons. Obviously, the Pens still in their prime. I believe they won the Stanley Cup in 16-17. They went back-to-back. Crosby's a 95, Malkin 93, Letang's a 90. They also have Phil the Thrill Kessel, who's only 28 and one of the best goal scorers in the league at that moment. San Jose, they were a problem to deal with Brent Burns, Mark Vlasic, and Joe Pavelski, as well as Joe Thornton, who's 37, but still very good at a 90 overall. St. Louis has Tarasenko and Pietrangelo. Tampa Bay, Stammer, man. Seeing Stamkos not in a Tampa Bay jersey is going to be a little bit weird, but he's a 94 in this game. Hedman is a 92. Kucherov, 90. Wow, Kucherov's only a 90. He is only 23 years old. Very young in his career. Strawman's an 88. Filppula is there. They don't really have the team that they have now. JVR is tied with Austin Matthews for the best player on the Toronto Maple Leafs. That is crazy. Marner's only an 84 and Nylander 83. Oh, how have times changed. Sedin sisters will still be on the Vancouver Canucks, 88 overall apiece. Alex Edler's there. Louis Eriksson, man, that contract was horrible for how many years? Ovi is back in his prime at a 94 with Nick Backstrom, who's not retired. And the Winnipeg Jets, have Dustin Byfuglien, who I don't believe was ever a 91 overall. I think that was me raising him, because how on earth would this monster not be a 91 overall? So now that we know what the NHL looked like back in 2016, let's go ahead and simulate up to current day and see who's going to create a dynasty. Hopefully we do get some sort of a dynasty. I mean, we had one mini one with Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay in real life. First, before we go ahead and simulate, if you guys do enjoy videos like this, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you get notified when I go live or post a video. And now it's time to see what the sim engine in NHL 17 really looks like. I'm also very interested to see how fast the sim engine is in this game, especially compared to NHL 24. I mean, I think 24 is pretty fast, not the menus moving the UI around and stuff like that, but actually simulating games. You do get through the seasons pretty quickly here. A lot of stuff does pop up in NHL 17. The morale changes. I got to do Amateur Scout every like 2 weeks. It's kind of annoying. I got to keep clicking X. So we might be sitting here for a while. I'm not going to lie. Now, at the end of the first season, the Rangers were the best team, winning 51 games, 114 points. Philly was very, very good, as well as Tampa Bay, Chicago, St. Louis, the LA Kings. Obviously, Chicago and LA were like rotating Stanley Cups at this point. Anaheim was good. San Jose was up there at the bottom of the league. We do have the Vancouver Canucks, only 27 victories. Arizona and Edmonton, who we know were not very good back then. Actually, it did make the postseason in 2017, so John Tavares will end up leading the entire league in scoring with 99 points. Tarasenko had 97. Patty Kane was up there. Nikita Kucherov had a very good year. Claude Giroux was good. Carlson, as a defenseman, 29 goals and 85 points. I guess that 96 overall definitely helps him. Derek Stepan had 85. Stammer, 85. Tyler Seguin. McDavid only had 83 and 35 goals, but I'm sure he's going to get even better than this and probably be the best player in the world in a few seasons. Now, for goals, Patty Kane will lead with 51 on the season, followed by Tarasenko's 50. Ovi had 43. Stammer, 41. And Patrick Sharp, who had 40. And if we take a look at the goalies here, Jonathan Quick would end up having the most wins, or actually tying for the most wins, alongside Steve Mason at 45 in the league. Corey Crawford, he had 43, Ben Bishop 40, Luongo had 37, Henrik Lundqvist 38, and for shutouts, where are the shutouts at? Shutouts, Carey Price would end up leading with 9 on the year, followed by Bob. Jonathan Quick was up there, Ben Bishop, and Hank the King Lundqvist. And here we go. This is our 2017 Stanley Cup playoff bracket. It took a long time to simulate to get here. I'm not going to lie. It was a lot slower than even NHL 19 was. Let's see who goes on and ends up taking home the Stanley Cup. Not really any surprise here, as the LA Kings will go all the way, dominating the Ottawa Senators in 5 games in the finals. Very interesting to see Ottawa make it there. They did make the conference finals in real life, but obviously a Game 7 overtime defeat to Pittsburgh. But in this universe, much different. They still ended up losing, though. Erik Karlsson would have a playoff run for the ages. 4 goals, 20 points in 22 games, leading all skaters. Kyle Turris had 19, Kopitar 19, and Hoffman 19. Patrick Kane will take him to Ted Lindsay, Maurice Richard, and Hart Trophy. The Art Ross will go to John Tavares, Erik Karlsson to Norris, the Calder to Austin Matthews. Jonathan Quick will win his second Conn Smythe, and the Vezina will go to Ben Bishop, as well as the Selke to Mr. Bergeron himself. Colorado would end up getting the #1 overall pick, followed by Vancouver, and the Boston Bruins, who got #3. Very interesting. Edmonton did slot in at #5. So maybe they can pick up a good player to help improve the roster. Moving along to the end of the 2018 season, the Washington Capitals were the best team. This was the year in real life that they actually went on and won the Stanley Cup. Anaheim was good. They were up there, 49 wins. St. Louis again, top 3 in the league. Followed by Chicago, Ottawa, New York, and Calgary. At the bottom, we have the Vancouver Canucks. Yet again, the Islanders were very bad, as well as the Red Wings and the Devils. Alexander Ovechkin is going to go absolutely crazy, leading in goals with 60 and points with 112, followed by McDavid's 108. Tyler Seguin had 107 and 42 goals. This dude at a 93 overall is putting up numbers. Backstrom had 102. Jamie Benn was good. Tarasenko was up there, as well as Stammer, Kane, and Marchand, as well as Giroux. And if we take a look at the goals, other than Ovi, Tarasenko had 53, Stammer 51, another 50-goal season for him. Patrick Kane at 48. Jack Eichel at 21 had 48 goals. If only he did that in real life. Giroux had 42, Ben 42. And if we take a look at the goalies here, Corey Crawford will lead in wins. He had 43 on the season, followed by Holtby, who had 42. Quick 42. John Gibson was up there. The King had 39. Carey Price, very quiet, only 37 wins. And for the shutouts, Devin Dubnyk will lead with 11 on the season. Price had 9, Quick 8, and Crawford 7. So you guys can really see how the goalies dominated the older NHL games. I mean, I even said this with NHL 19 nowadays. In 23-24, we got skaters putting up like 130, 140 points. But back then, it was the goalies that truly dominated the sim. That was until you hit the postseason, just like we are right now in 2018. The Capitals won in real life. Who's going to go on and take it here in NHL 17? And the Montreal Canadiens will get it done as they beat the Oilers in Game 7 of the finals. We had an all-Canadian Stanley Cup finals. That's crazy, but the Montreal Canadiens will get it done. And of course, my Oilers will have to lose another heartbreaking Game 7 defeat. No surprise, as Connor McDavid was the best player in the postseason. 12 goals and 30 points in 26 games, which, I mean, doesn't sound crazy to today's standards, but this is 2018, a different time. Max Pacioretty had 23, Radulov 22, Draisaitl was up there, and what did Carey Price do? Carey Price, 16 wins, a .934 save percentage, as well as 2 shutouts. Definitely well-deserved, probably won the Conn Smythe. Ovi is going to win all the awards. The Lindsay, the Maurice Richard, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy. The Norris will go to John Carlson. Hinostroza will win the Calder. Carey Price will win the Conn Smythe. So far, 2 for 2 for goalies winning the Conn Smythe in the simulation. Craig Anderson is going to win the Vezina, as the Selke will go to Bo Horvat. Shout out to Winnipeg for winning the draft lottery. New Jersey came in 2nd, Vancouver 3rd, and the Islanders 4th. Moving along to the end of 2019, the Nashville Predators will be the best team in the league, winning 54 games. This was the season that St. Louis had a miraculous comeback, dead last to winning the Stanley Cup. San Jose was a very good team. New Jersey was up there, 47 wins. Washington, Columbus won 45 games, also 11 overtime losses. Definitely helped them out. If we take a look at the bottom, the Boston Bruins were the worst team, followed by Anaheim, Arizona, and Calgary, as well as the Pittsburgh Penguins, so they fell off a cliff way sooner than they actually did in real life. Nikita Kucherov will end up leading everybody in scoring with 101 points, followed by Stammer, who did have 98. Big gap down to 91 with Vladimir Tarasenko. Sam Reinhart had a good season, 87 points. Carlson had 86 as a D-man. Ovi, 86. Adam Henrique had 85. At an 88 overall, that's kind of crazy. Jeff Skinner at 85. If taking a look at the goals, Vladimir Tarasenko is a 60-goal man. Ovi had 50, Stammer 50. This was a time where I believe everybody thought Tarasenko was going to be like the best goal scorer in the league and maybe a top 3 player, but he never really panned out to be that. Patrick Kane had 45 goals, Eichel 41, Taylor Hall 39, and Johnny T had 39. And if we take a look at the goalies here, Pekka Rinne will have the most wins in the league with 45, followed by Barton Jones, who had 41. Corey Schneider was up there with 39, Vasi 39, Lettinen 39, and for the shutouts, it will go to John Gibson, who did have 10 on the season. Dubnyk had 8, as well as Braden Holtbeast. Holtbeast or Holtby, whatever the hell his name used to be. And here we go, 2019 Stanley Cup playoffs. Who will go on and win it all? The Dallas Stars would end up defeating the Toronto Maple Leafs in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals in typical Toronto fashion. They did make it all the way to the finals, but again, cannot close the door on a Game 7 victory. So shout out to the Stars. Funny enough, Morgan Riley actually had the most points in the playoffs with 24 in 25 games, almost a point per game. Jamie Benn had 22, also 11 goals. Tyler Seguin had 20. Matthews surprisingly had a okay playoff run. I mean, only 5 goals for one of the... Why is he listed as a playmaker? This dude is a sniper. What is going on, EA? Pavelski, 18. Bozak, 18. Kadri had 16. Kucherov will take home the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy, just like he did in real life. The Maurice Richard will go to Tarasenko, Eric Carlson, and the Norris yet again. Calder to Alex Nylander. The Conn Smythe will go to Jamie Benn, the Vezina to Braden Holtby, and the Selke again to Bergeron. Arizona will end up winning the draft lottery. Hopefully that does wonders for their god-awful franchise. So at the end of the season, in real life, obviously it got shut down very early on in March because of the fact of the coronavirus. Yes, the pandemic happened, but if it didn't, and hypothetically we played all 82 games, EA says that Washington would be the best team with 51 wins, followed by the Blackhawks. The Dallas Stars are up there, Pittsburgh, LA, Nashville, and Columbus. At the bottom, we have the Red Wings, who of course were bad during this time, as well as the Rangers. The Rangers were not bad. Nowhere near, only 31 wins. Winnipeg, Arizona, and the Oilers are back to being horrible. Steven Stamkos would end up leading the entire league in scoring with 100 points on the year. We only had one 100-point scorer. That is how different the league is. I mean, nowadays, we have at least 5 to 7 every single season. Logan Couture had 91 points. Patty Kane, 91. Ovi was up there. Kucherov was good. Breadman, Claude Giroux, Joe Pavelski at 85. Andre Palat had 83. If we take a look at the goals, Ovi will put up 60 on the season. Patty Kane had 53. Stammer, 50. Tarasenko, 46. And Jack Eichel, who's been a very good goal scorer in the sim, had 44. Jonas Korpisalo at a 91 overall will have 45 wins, leading all goaltenders. Jonathan Quick had 43. Corey Crawford had 42. Varlamov was up there. Braden Holtby as well. And if we take a look at the shutouts, Korpisalo absolutely dominated. 12 shutouts on the season. Pekka Rinne had 10. Matt Murray 10 as well. But I mean, it does look like Korpisalo will probably win the Vezina. I mean, he should with a 930 save percentage as well. And here we go. Who will go on and end up winning the Bubble Stanley Cup in the year 2020? And 2 years after they actually won the cup in real life, Washington will go on in the bubble, sweeping the Chicago Blackhawks, winning their first Stanley Cup in the Ovi era, so Ovechkin does end up getting his cup. Showtime, Patty Kane will have a playoff run for the ages, 17 goals, 26 points. Breadman had 25, Stammer was up there, Kucherov. I mean, Andre Palat was very good. Backstrom had 22 points, Jonathan Taves 20, and Ovi, 16 goals, only 3 apples. He was not passing whatsoever. Bro was strictly sniping bombs and, well, maybe wheeling moms as well. Shout out Corey Perry. Stamkos will take home the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. The Maurice Richard will go to Ovi. The Norris to John Klingberg. Jonathan Hosang will win the Calder. The Conn Smythe to Braden Holtby, the Vezina to Korpisalo, and the Selke to Bo Horvat. So we have now reached the shortened season that was 2021 NHL. Obviously, the pandemic had a big effect over it, but the Buffalo Sabres here in NHL 17 will win 57 games with Jack Eichel as their leader. Washington was very good with 48 wins. St. Louis was up there. Tampa Bay, Florida. Obviously, Tampa Bay did win the Stanley Cup this season. If we take a look at the bottom, we do have the Edmonton Oilers. Sadly, only 27 victories. The Rangers were very bad. Colorado, who was supposed to be like a Stanley Cup contender, only won 32 games on the season. Ottawa, Boston was down there, as well as Les Montreal Canadiens. Alex Ovechkin will end up leading everybody in goals with 54 and points with 101, followed by his line mate in Nicholas Backstrom. 26 goals for Backstrom, honestly, is a lot. I know he is known for his playmaking, 97 points. Johnny T had 91. Claude Giroux was up there. Tyler Seguin had a good season. Jack Eichel, there it is. 52 goals, 36 apples for 88 points at 24 years of age. He's a 97 overall. Alex Nylander was very good. Nikolai Ehlers had a good season. Tarasenko kind of fell off a little bit at 29 years of age. Nolan Patrick, 92 overall at 22 years old. Obviously, in real life, things did not pan out this good for him. I mean, he was point per game, 84 and 82. Not speaking of the goals, but of the goals, Ovi will lead with 54. Eichel had 52. Then a far drop off to 43 with Patrick Kane, who's still a 95, so he's one of the best players in the world. Tarasenko had 40. Jamie Benn, 38. Thomas Jurko had 36 goals on the season. I don't even know if he plays in the NHL anymore. And now looking at the goalies, Andrei Vasilevsky, no surprise, he's dominating, leading in wins with 42. Freddie Anderson, he had 41. John Gillies had 40. Fitzpatrick, 38. Nedeljkovic, he was up there with 38. And if we take a look at the shutouts here, John Gibson will end up leading with 10. Freddie Anderson had 8. Korpisalo 8. And Matt Murray as well had 8 on the season. Medium elite potential for Matt Murray is crazy. This, of course, was the playoff run that the Tampa Bay Lightning went back-to-back. So let's see if they can go on and win their first Stanley Cup of the video so far. Well, technically, I should not be surprised since Buffalo did win 57 games on the season. They would go on, sweep the Minnesota Wild in the finals to take home their very first Stanley Cup in the Jack Eichel era. Speaking of Eichel, he dominated. I mean, 15 goals, 26 points, leading the postseason in both categories. Alex Nylander had 25, Reinhart 21, Jason Zucker 21, Oshie was up there, Brassard had a good playoff run on the Buffalo Sabres. So Buffalo, really, they were kind of loaded, not gonna lie. Ovi will win the Ted Lindsay, Maurice Richard, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. John Carlson will take home the Norris. Spears will win the Calder, the Conn Smythe to Gravel, I guess one of the prospects that Buffalo did draft. The Vezina to Freddie Anderson, and the Selke to Connor McDavid. And shout out to the Rangers winning the draft lottery. New Jersey via Colorado ended up selecting second, and Montreal via Edmonton will select third. Moving along to 2022, the Tampa Bay Lightning won 68 games, which is incredible. Dallas was up there with 54 wins. Buffalo, of course, are the defending champs somehow, some way. LA was good. Carolina had a good season. St. Louis at the bottom. We have the New York Rangers. The bottom Boston Bruins, and Colorado, who actually went on and won the Stanley Cup in real life in 22. Obviously, that team was absolutely loaded in real life. Finally, Connor McDavid will wake up 58 goals, leading all skaters as well as points with 154. 54 points more than John Tavares, who did come in second place. That is insane. Stammer had a pretty okay season with 96. Sagan was up there 92. Alex Galchenyuk had 92 points. Shout out Kucherov. Eichel having a good season. John Klingberg as a D-man had 26 goals and 88 points. And taking a look at the goals, I mean, McDavid damn near scored 60. Tarasenko had 56. Stammer 54. Johnny T had 50. Patrick Kane and Jack Eichel were up there. Ovi's kind of slowing down. I mean, 44 goals is still amazing. He is 36 years of age. Now, if we take a look at the goaltenders, again, Vasi will dominate, 55 wins, breaking the single season record, followed by Gravel, who had 43. Jay Quick had 41. Shout out Quickie. And if we take a look at the shutouts, Gravel will lead with 11, followed by Martin Jones's 9. Russo had 8. Holtby had 8, as well as Fitzpatrick. It is now time to find out if the Buffalo Sabres will go back-to-back. Obviously, Colorado cannot win the Stanley Cup as they were a very bad team and didn't even make the postseason, but maybe the Sabres can go back-to-back and create a little mini dynasty here. And somehow the Toronto Maple Leafs will break the curse, winning their first Stanley Cup since 1967, beating Dallas in 6 games in the finals. So, I mean, maybe if Toronto didn't have the all-time choke artist on their squad, they probably would have a Stanley Cup by now. But we all know how that truly went in real life. Johan Sundstrom will lead the playoffs in scoring with 21 points, followed by Morgan Riley's 20. Michael Spacek had 19. Ekman Larson was up there. Matthews had 4 goals, only 4 goals in 26 games. I guess the choking continues. Teuvo Teravainen had a good season, I guess. I mean, not really. Nobody really stood out. I mean, 21 points. Led the entire postseason. For real-life reference, McDavid had 42. I know that's like a top 3 record all time, but still, just comparing NHL 20, or not 20, but 17 to actual real life. Obviously, Connor McDavid is Connor McDavid, winning all the awards. The Norris will go to John Klingberg. Lind the Calder. The Conn Smythe will go to Freddie Anderson. Vasi the Vezina, and the Selke again for back-to-back seasons to Connor McDavid. Shout out to the Rangers getting the first overall pick. Edmonton actually will end up selecting second, and then the Nashville Predators third. Also, Boston is still absolutely trash. Now, at the end of last season in real life, the end of 2023, the St. Louis Blues will win the most games. Well, technically not, but they did have the most points at 112. Also, 53 wins. Carolina had more wins, but less overtime losses. Calgary was up there surprisingly somehow. Boston had a comeback season, you could say. Colorado was good. Buffalo was up there again. Haven't won a Stanley Cup since then. Florida. And if we take a look at the bottom, we have the Arizona Coyotes, the Red Wings, and the New York Rangers, who have been struggling basically all video long. Vladimir Tarasenko will have the most points at 98, followed by Johnny T's 96. Dal Call had 94. Hosang was up there. Jonathan Hosang, or Josh Hosang. Why did I think it was Jonathan? Regardless, I remember the controversy around him wearing number 66. Even though he played on the Islanders and not the Penguins, everybody got mad. And then I don't think anybody heard from him since. Patrick Kane had 93. McKinnon had a good season. I haven't really heard much of him either. Jack Eichel had 86 points. Marchand 83. If we take a look at the goals, Eichel will lead his first ever Maurice Richard trophy. He had 56 on the season. Patty Kane had 53, followed by John Tavares' 50, Tarasenko 41, and Stammer's 39. Now for the goalies, Nedeljkovic will have the most wins. He's at 92 overall now and 44 wins on the season. Fitzpatrick at 43. Punovers, or I'm not even going to try to pronounce this guy's name anymore. And if we go ahead and take a look at the shutouts, Andre Vasilevsky and Punovers will tie with 9 on the season. Nedeljkovic at 8 and Gravel 7. And here we go. Obviously, in 2023, the Vegas Golden Knights did win the Stanley Cup, but they're not even in NHL 17. They didn't come to the game afterwards in 18. So we're going to have a brand new Stanley Cup winner. So let's go ahead, simulate, and see who that is. And the Calgary Flames will end up going all the way, beating Carolina in Game 7 of the finals. I mean, Calgary in real life didn't even make the postseason in 2023. So I guess this is a surprise pick. Newest member member of the Edmonton Oilers, Jeff Skinner, would lead the playoffs in scoring with 12 goals and 23 points. Bolig had 20, Kane 17, Evander Kane on the Calgary Flames, so I guess he went to the other part of Alberta. Jack Eichel had 16, Aho 16, Ty Ratty had 15. It's also Alex Nylander, who's actually been outperforming William Nylander in this sim. Tavares will take home the Ted Lindsay and the Hart Trophy, the Art Ross to Tarasenko, Jack Eichel, the Maurice Richard, the Norris to Aaron Ekblad, the Conn Smythe to Panovers. Also the Vezina to him as well, as the Selke will go to Jack Eichel from the Buffalo Sabres. As the Pittsburgh Penguins will win the draft lottery, be able to select first overall, which would have been Connor Bedard, which honestly would have been very funny and fitting considering Bedsy's favorite player is Crosby. Arizona went second and the Detroit Red Wings third. Now at the end of the final season of the video, the Edmonton Oilers would go on and win 52 games, a drastic improvement off of pretty much every other season. Carolina was very good. Arizona had a 50-win season. I don't think they've ever done that in their franchise's history. Buffalo was good. Winnipeg was up there as well as Ottawa. And at the bottom, we have Minnesota, San Jose, and the Red Wings. Connor McDavid would end up leading everybody in goals with 52 and points with 123, so a very good comeback season by him. John Tavares had 101 points, so at a 95 overall, simulating a lot better. Patrick Kane had 96. Michael Dal Cole had 94. Artemi Panarin was up there, as well as Erik Karlsson. And now on the goal side, other than McDavid, Tavares had 51, Eichel 47, and Patrick Kane, who had 40. Taking a look at the goalies here, Sandstrom on the Oilers had the most wins, 45 wins, but he's a 79 overall. Dear God, how did the Oilers win 50-some games with a 79 starting goalie? Stuart Skinner, who is on, I think, the Blackhawks there, not on the Oilers, 85 overall, had 40 wins. Vasi had 40, Nedeljkovic 40, and for the shutouts, Vasi will have the most at 8 on the season. As here we go, our final playoff run of the video. Obviously, we had Edmonton and Florida in the finals. The Oilers can go on and win the Stanley Cup, but Florida did not even make the postseason in this sim, so we could end up with a brand new Stanley Cup winner. And in the final season, the Edmonton Oilers will sweep the Toronto Maple Leafs, winning the first Stanley Cup in the McDavid era. Obviously, in real life, we did make the finals. Didn't get it done in Game 7, but it's nice to see here in 2024 that EA Sports has somewhat of a similar, or should I say, accurate sim engine to real life. Obviously, McDavid would end up having the most points, but only at 25 instead of 42. Kyle Palmieri had 21 and 13 goals on the Oilers. I guess he is the Zach Hyman role for this team. Erik Karlsson had 19, Patrick Kane 18, Mitch Marner was up there, as well as Alex DeBrincat. Connor McDavid is going to take home all the awards. The Norris will go to Erik Karlsson, the Conn Smythe to Sandstrom, and not McDavid. Fitzpatrick, the Vezina, and the Selke back to McDavid. And that is going to do it for this video. I have simmed up to current day using NHL 17, and we never had any repeat winners, and the only season that was somewhat similar to real life was 2024, seeing the Edmonton Oilers not only make the Stanley Cup Finals, but also get it done. So let me know in the comments below what NHL game should I do this next with. I would like to say thank you all for watching, and until next time, don't be silly. Wrap your willy.